Hello, everyone. Welcome to a video session by yours truly. Yes, it is I, your wonderful teacher, and I am going to talk about a topic that we already saw in class. Yes, we're talking about types of sentences. And in this case, this presentation is going to be for anybody that has, well, not fully understood the topic. Even if you master the topic, I would still encourage you to watch the video and make sure that you're not missing any type of information that we see here. So we saw three different types of sentences: simple, compound, and complex. And to avoid making the video too long, I'm going to break it up into two different videos. The first one is going to focus on simple and compound, which is this one. And then another video is going to focus on complex. I encourage you to watch this one first and then go to the one of complex sentence. This video is going to focus and mention a lot of different words that we already use. We're talking about subordinating conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions, yes, fanboys, and so on, independent clauses and dependent clauses. So if you don't remember those terms, make sure that you have your notes out so it's a lot easier for you to follow and understand what we're talking about. Okay, I think we're ready to begin. So here we go. We're going to start off first with simple sentences. So we have to talk about what they are. So what's a simple sentence? A simple sentence is just a complete idea. It's what we call an independent clause. So that's what I meant when I want you to have your notes out. Remember what an independent clause is. It's a complete idea, basically. Okay. Here we have how we can form a simple sentence. We just need two things: one subject and one predicate. Now, the predicate is the one that has the verb. Just in case somebody's wondering, where is the verb? It's part of the predicate. And here we have an example. We have the subject, I, and then we have the predicate. Bought my friend some candy. As you guys can see, that is a complete idea. I can tell this to anybody and they fully understand the idea that I'm trying to portray. Let's see some more examples, just so we're very, very sure about what we're doing. So we mentioned we had a subject and a predicate. Let's analyze this one. Take your time, read it. Does it have a subject and one predicate? Yes, it does. We have the subject, the dog, and then went on an adventure to the park would be our predicate. Now let's analyze this longer sentence over here. Do we have our subject? Yes, we do. There it is. The prime minister had visited their new embassy the day before. So that is our predicate. Yes, it is complete. And let's move on to another example. So in this one, it might be a little tricky sometimes for some people to understand. If you see two different names, maybe you have my brother and my sister, so you have like two things going on. Even though you might mention two different people, three or four or five, doesn't matter. It's still part of the same subject. In this case, it says Pedro and Lola. That is our subject, one subject. And then we have, will have talked to their parents about it. Okay. Even though we have two different names in the subject, that's still one. How do we know? Well, just ask yourself the question: who will have talked to their parents about it? The answer is Pedro and Lola. They are the ones doing the action, so both of them. And another tip would be just try and change it into a pronoun. What pronoun can we replace Pedro and Lola with? And the answer is they. They will have talked to their parents about it. Now, make sure that you don't have any questions about simple past. If something was not clear, go back, make sure that you have your notes, and then we may proceed. Because right now, we're going to start with compound sentences. So make sure that you're ready also to start taking notes in this case. Here we go. Compound sentences. First, we have to ask ourselves the same question. What's a compound sentence? Well, very simply, a compound sentence is a sentence that has at least two independent clauses. Okay, at least two. It can have more than two, but at least two. Let's check it out over here. How do we form it? We just mentioned that it has two independent clauses, at least. So here it is. One plus another one. We can call independent clauses, if you remember from the first part of the explanation, simple sentences. So it depends on what you want to call them. Just make sure that you don't get the names confused. And if you refer to them as independent clauses or simple sentences, you understand that they are the same thing. Okay? As long as you're not getting confused, you can call them whatever you want. Either one of these two definitions or names. So here is an example that we're going to use. We have I visited the beach and I got a really bad sunburn. Okay, from this example, you might notice something. I even put it in red, and that is and. What's this? You might remember if you go back to your notes that we call these fanboys. So and is a fanboy that we use to connect two independent clauses. Okay? And when we say fanboys, we don't mean these fanboys. No, we mean these fanboys right there. So these are coordinating conjunctions, but if you guys remember, the first letter of each of the words, well, if we spell them out, they say fanboy. That's why we call them fanboy. So it's a lot easier to remember because you just have to remember which one is each of the letters. If you want to remember what we use each one for, here is a little table that I got for you guys. And this one is basically how to apply them in a sentence. So make sure you take a pause right there, take a screenshot if you need to, write it down, and we move on. Here we have some examples. I visited the beach and got a really bad sunburn. I want you guys to analyze this sentence. Is this a compound sentence? Yeah, right? This is our compound sentence. Yeah, if you said yes, then no, you are incorrect. This is not a compound sentence. This would be a simple sentence. Check it again. Does it have two subjects or one subject? If your answer is one subject, you will be correct. I removed the second one. So this one now just says, I visited the beach and got a really bad sunburn. It's one single person. Even though we have two different verbs, visited and got, it's still the same subject doing both actions. So this is just a compound predicate because it has two different verbs, but it's still the same subject. Remember, if we want to call it a compound sentence, we need to have two independent clauses, and an independent clause needs a subject and a predicate. If we don't have, in this case, subject predicate and subject predicate, then it's still one simple sentence. All right? Here we have what it would look like with the other subject. I visited the beach. I got a really bad sunburn. Now, if you can see right there, we have two subjects and two predicates, right? It is good. And we have and right there. This is the fanboy joining the two together, okay? What happens if I don't want to use a fanboy? What happens if I've used a lot of fanboys? Well, what we can do is we can replace it with a semicolon. There we go. And now it is still correct. So you guys decide if you want to use a fanboy or if you want to use a semicolon. The only thing you have to remember is if we're going to use a fanboy, we have to use a comma before the fanboy. If you don't have that comma, it is going to be incorrect. All right. Well, that's it. Hopefully you guys understood the topic a little bit more. And we kept the video under 10 minutes. So that's awesome. You didn't have to spend a lot of time here invested in the video. If you still have questions, either review the topic, check out the PowerPoint presentation, which I did upload on Blackboard, or make sure that you ask me. Remember, I'm always there. I have my tutoring session. You can ask me in the classroom. You can send me a message to WhatsApp. Either way, just do not have the doubts without actually, well, engaging me or asking a classmate at least. All right, well, that's it. See you, take care, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video explaining complex sentences. All right, take care.